경우들도 많아요.
그런 의미에서 보면 저는 그 두 번째 경기에서 보여줬던 그냥 커세어 리버로 그냥 쭉 가는 게 더 나을 수 있다는 생각이 들거든요.
그렇죠. 조일장도 진영도 준비 끝났거든요. 신기한 경능선 조일장 선수가 이기면 결승 가는 거고요. 진영호 선수가 이기면 2대2 스코어까지 만드는 겁니다. 경기 가보도록 하죠.
Oh shit, we're starting already, man. Sonic is not giving me a break here. I'm eating some delicious mochi. My aunt actually recently went to Japan to run a marathon, so she brought it back for me. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, at the bottom left here, as the yellow Protoss, we have Movie. And at the bottom right, as the red Zerg, we will have Hero. Now, this is slightly problematic for Mr. Movie. We are on Sniper Ridge. It's not the friendliest map for PvZ. And Hero, of course, pretty amazing in PvZ. I think Sniper Ridge is also a pretty decent map for doing like lurker drop shenanigans. Like what Hero has been doing this series and seems to like doing. So, ooh, we have a one base. Okay, I don't know what's going on with the Freak of Protosses, but this is like a third one base build I've seen on Sniper Ridge in SSL. I don't know if this is because like playing Forge Fast Expand is not nice if you get Lurker Grenade or something, but this is kind of crazy. Now, Bisu did do this against Larva in the, was it the final game? I think it was the final game of their match, and it did work out. In fact, both times we've seen this strategy so far in SSL, I believe instead of going like one base Sayer DT opening, they go one base Sayer, but then make like 4 Zealots and 2 Goons and a Forge, and then just take their expansion and just build cannons and then use the ground units to hold it rather than making DTs. But this time it's going to be 2-gate. It's not going to be a tech opening. It's going to be 2-gate. And he's actually not going to block the hatchery. Excuse me, I've got some hiccups now. He's not going to block the hatchery, but he is 2-gating. Now, unfortunately for him, the first Overlord did actually go in the correct direction. So Hero will see this coming very, very quickly. And I just don't see this working at all. I just, with the Zerg of Hero's caliber, I don't see how this works. Like, this worked great for Mini. Mini did this against Quanro in the round of 8, and that worked amazingly. But I'm pretty sure Hero is just gonna smack this down. And, well, I guess we'll just get to watch Bisu then. Oh, he's pulling probes too! Oh man, you're so dead, Movie. I feel bad calling it before anything has even happened, but I don't know. You know what? There's 4 probes and a Zealot here, and there's no Sunken yet. This could still work. This could actually still work. You know what? Let me not get ahead of myself here. This is still pretty dangerous for Hero. This is still pretty scary. Alright, he's pulling a couple of drones now. He really wants to get a Sunken up, but you see he has to wait for the hatchery to finish, which is a real pain in the butt. He needs to creep down. Alright, there's the creep. He's gonna make a Sunken now. He's going after the Zealot. Is he gonna get it? He is gonna get it because the probes actually aren't blocking correctly, so that's really bad. But the Zealot does survive, and there are 2 more Zealots coming in. Now, a second Sunken is being built. The Zealots need to actually close and start attacking these creeps before they can become Sunkens. All he needs to do is get them down to 100 HP, and when the Sunkens morph, they'll actually lose 100 HP. Without dying, of course, but essentially, creep colonies have 400 HP and Sunkens have 300. I'm sure I've talked about that many times. But anyway, looks like this attack has basically completely failed. And the probes are going back, the Zealots are going back. As I said, it was very unlikely that a Zerg of Hero's caliber would just succumb to this kind of 2-gate attack. Especially with his Overlord scouting at first. Like, if you know, Movie had... If the first Overlord had gone, you know, top right instead, and Movie and Hero had seen the attack, you know, 15 seconds later or something, maybe he could have done a little bit more, but even then I think it would be a little bit unlikely. We do actually have a lot of Zealots still here in the main base. 7 Zealots. But you can see Hero already going for the lair. He knows that with the 2-gate opening, Movie's tech is going to be super duper late. I'm actually curious what he's going to do. Presumably just Mutas? 2-hatch Muta? Pretty good. Because I don't think there'll be enough production of Corsairs off just the 1 Stargate to stop that. Although, let's see, yeah, it's going to be a Spire. Yeah. Now, oh, I was just going to say, I hope that Movie leaves some Zealots blocking the ramp before he goes out. Okay, he's going to do that. And what's going to be useful for him is if he keeps poking with the Zealots and trying to force out more Zerglings from Hero, he will actually sort of slow down the 2-hatch Muta, because of course going 2-hatch Muta by Hero is pretty precise. If you have to make a few extra Zerglings here and there, it's going to throw off your build quite significantly. So, looks like, oh, the Dragoon doesn't get it. He could actually just use the Zealots to push the Zerglings out and try and get that Overlord anyway. If he can grab that Overlord, that'll actually be huge, again, because the drone count is really low for Hero. He really cannot afford basically any unit losses, but it looks like Movie's not going to risk that. I guess it wasn't really worth it. And looks like Hero now going to poke around with some Lings. He does have speed. He's going to run 2 around, but again, there are 2 Zealots blocking the ramps. It's not really going to do anything. And it looks like Movie is going for his natural expansion now with a cannon. Now the Corsair is going to go and scout. It's going to get there before the Spire finishes, or right as the Spire finishes, and he's going to see the larva being saved up here. I think seeing those 2 larvae at the natural, he probably knows it's Muta already. But now seeing the Spire, obviously he knows. He definitely knows. And he's not going to stay to kill Overlords. He knows there's no time. He has to just go back and make sure the Corsairs stay alive. So he's probably going to want 1 or 2 cannons in the main base, maybe another cannon in the natural, and just keep pumping the Corsairs. I think he'll be okay, though. Oh, he's actually going to find the damaged Overlord, so that's quite nice. We didn't actually have to risk the Dragoon to get that. So he's going to find that, that Overlord. So we do have 1 cannon in the main. I'm a little bit concerned that it's not quite ranging the bottom of the Stargate, though, so that could allow Hero to do this sort of thing and camp it. It's a little bit painful. He's built a 2nd cannon down there, though. But this next Corsair could actually just die straight away, which would be really bad. Hero, in the meantime, is actually in the top right base, so we could actually... Oh, no, it popped out on the bottom right! Oh, man, slightly mispositioned of the Scourge. It appears that even air units pop out of the bottom right of the buildings. I actually didn't realize that. I never really thought about it, because it's not really an issue, obviously, for air units, usually, but in that case... Scourge positioning was messed up. So this is the thing. Movie's actually gotten the cannons up in time in his main. He's got Corsairs. He's not really afraid of the Mutas. And it looks like Hero's actually just not made Mutas. Upon seeing with his first Scourge that the cannons were already in time, it looks like Hero actually has just not made Mutas, which is really interesting to me. I would have thought he'd had them already building, but I just do not see any Mutas on the map. This is kind of crazy. So it looks like we're just going to go to a long game here despite the 2-gate opening. And that's going to be that. Or was he just saving up? I mean, I just haven't seen any Mutas yet. His Spire's been done for a while. Are these Mutas? Is that what's in these eggs? I think that's what... It's got to be what's in these eggs, right? He was just saving up. Now he's going to make Muta? But there must be, like, enough Corsairs by now, right? To actually stop this. Okay, those are definitely Muta. They're taking a really long time. And there we go. So finally some Mutas are made. But there must be like 5 Corsairs up by now. Right? 4 or 5? Looks like 4 to me. Okay, but that's fine. Okay, there's 5. Oh, no, wait, no, there were 5. Okay, now there's 6. So I believe that is 6 Corsairs. It's a little bit hard to see on the Nexus. And 2 cannons in the main. I mean, this attack is not going to do anything. There is no way you can take down 2 cannons and 6 Corsairs with... Well, actually, that's a good number of Mutas, and there's like 8 Scourge there. It's going to come down to the micro. Alright, here we go. Here we go. The micro, where the Corsairs at? Alright, he's going after the Mutas. He's going after the Scourge. The Scourge, a couple of them do land. It looks like 2 Corsairs die. There are 4 left. Oh, he's got to be careful. One of the cannons is down. He needs that cannon to back him up. Oh man, this guy should be problematic. The Goon is coming home. The Corsairs are running to the natural to get rid of the Scourge. I think he might want to just target the Scourge with the cannon or something. I'm not really sure. But it looks like with most of the Scourge gone and the cannons down, the Mutas are going to flee. So an interesting exchange right there. I think that was still fine for Movie. It didn't look like he really lost many probes or anything like that. But he's got to be very, very careful now because Hero has shown that even though Movie's going for Corsairs, he is very... he's fine with just trying to wrest air control anyway away from the Protoss, and it looks like though more Scourge coming in. The cannons aren't ready. There's one goon on the ground trying to back him up, but the goon is not really going to do much. The cannons now in the main base not finished. He's going to have to pull the probes. He's going for a counterattack with his Zealots against the top right third base. One more Corsair does come out, but the two cannons at the main base do not finish. They are killed by the Mutalisks, but this base is almost certainly going to fall. That is way too many Zealots for what the Zerg has there, so he's going to kill that base, but the question is, how's he going to get rid of all these air units in his main base? Alright, looks like 4 Mutas and some Lynx going over to take care of that. It looks like the Mutas have actually pulled away now, and some Scourge actually being suicided because he went, no. The Mutas are actually here. They were camping the Stargate, and it looks like actually the Zealots went for all of the drones instead. I think they can almost certainly still get the hatchery rather, because the Mutas just do not do enough damage. A couple of them even go after the Extractor for some stupid reason. And yeah, he is going to get that hatchery for sure and escape with a few of the Zealots left over. So it looks like we need to get another shot in the Protoss main. I'm not really sure who got the better of that exchange. Hero did a lot of damage in the main base, but obviously Movie just killed a whole entire base. Looks like the probe saturation is not that good in the main. A good number of the Corsairs did fall, so the air threat is still very, very real for Movie. And +1 carapace is actually done. I don't know if +1 attack was ever researched for the Protoss. I imagine not. Yeah, he doesn't actually have +1 attack. He's not even getting it, so he's just relying on a high number of Corsairs. He does have like 7 Corsairs now, though, and he's got 2 cannons finished in the main. I think he's still... Oh, and he's got an Archon, so now he's definitely going to be fine against a straight-up attack in his main base. So now he's just going to have to worry a little bit about like harass behind the natural, but with all those Corsairs he should be okay. He needs to bring the Corsairs up to the natural right now. I don't know where they are. I think they're just chilling in the main. But he's going to lose a few probes here. There's 4 probes, but he will be okay. So Hyrule Gambit says this is a dual cast by me in my Twitch chat. That's exactly right. See, all the semi-intelligent sounding things that I say are actually just pulled from like high-level players in the chat. I don't actually know what I'm talking about. I'm like a puppet. You know what? I'm like a news presenter person. You know, they just like read things off of the screen behind, like next to the camera. So they don't actually like, you know, memorize all the news or anything. Or maybe they do. I don't know. Like, actually, now that I say that, I never really understood like what like the clump of papers on their desk was, you know, like shuffling their papers at the end of the news segment. It's like, why do you even need those? You just read things off the screen. It's fine. Maybe they're just notes or something. Anyway. So, looks like we're now having a big attack on the natural. That's 4 Sunkens and a semi-wall here, so I don't think that's going to do too much. But the Corsairs, though, are going to go in here, kill the Scourge, kill some Overlords. They have to be careful. They have to stay near the Archons, though. They don't really want to engage all these Mutas and Scourge by themselves. They could, if Hero messes up the engage, those Corsairs can actually take all that Zerg air by themselves. The problem is that Hero's almost certainly going to spread things out properly and avoid the splash damage, or minimize the splash damage, and that would just make things very difficult. Now, there are 4 Sunkens here as well, but there's no real wall, so this base is actually a lot more vulnerable than the natural. Oh man, this could actually be really problematic, and the thing is, there's actually 2 DTs there as well, which will do maximum damage if the Corsairs or if the Overlords all die, but a lot of the Corsairs fall right. There are only 4 Corsairs left, and the Sunkens are likely going to target down the Archons here so that the Mutas will be effective. You can see Hero manually targeting down the Archons, and here we go. The Mutas trying to hold things off along with the Sunkens. 1 Archon does fall. The second Archon, though, is still alive, and a couple of Corsairs are still alive. He just needs to take down the Archon and the Corsairs, and the Mutas will clean things up, and it looks like Hero is he going to clean things up? Looks like it's going to be close. The Sunken, the last Sunken, is it going to fall? It's not going to fall, and Movie backs up. Movie pulls out, having lost most of his ground forces and almost all of his Corsairs, while Hero's also getting the top right hatchery there. It looks like 1 DT somehow snuck into that main base. But, wow, that attack was so close. I thought Movie was just going to break through, but he's coming out now. He now has some High Templars that are not morphed into an Archon. They presumably will have Storms, and these Mutas are going to have to be even more careful to not get Stormed. But Movie's also going to be careful because he's kind of leaving them behind a little bit, and with no Dragoons here to help with only 1 Archon, the Mutas could easily run in and snipe these 2 High Templars. That is very, very, very dangerous. But he's going in again. There's a lot of Sunkens being made. Look at his mass Sunkens being made. Those are the Mutas are going for a counterattack, though, against Movie's third base. I think this is a really good idea. So Hero's basically just just going to rely on the Sunken Colony defense, which should be enough, and also is obviously going to not care about storms because the Sunkens won't take damage from storms. And just going for the counterattack, but whoa, hello, 2 cannons already done. 2 random mutas going to fly in there and die. And oh, here we go. Oh, the double storm. As one of the High Templars gets taken out. See, this is why this is probably not a good idea. Now he's going to have to do like Archon versus Muta Micro. Meanwhile, that's just a Kakaru. Don't worry about it. So, looks like third base is actually getting up and running. But of course, Hero does have his fourth as well, although his drone saturation must be very poor. He's basically not really mining top right, maybe a couple of drones there. Even the top right natural, because he's built so many Sunken Colonies, it surely cannot have that many drones. Oh no! Oh no, High Templar! Well, that was a lucky break, that should have died. So... Yeah, it looks like we're going 3 base against 4. This is turning into a long game. All right, nice. We're going to Hive even. I can't believe it. I'm actually quite impressed that Movies pulled this back. I mean, remember that this was a failed 2-gate opening. He opened with 2 gates in his main and did essentially no damage whatsoever. So considering that he's recovered to this point is actually quite good. Because usually what happens is by opening that and delaying your tech and your expansion by so much, you put yourself in a really bad spot in the mid game because your tech is far behind. You know, you can get your expansion, but then you just kind of have to sit in your base and just not leave for a really long time. And especially on Sniper Ridge, that can be a huge problem. But Movie with some nice little Zealot counterattacks and things has actually kept himself in it. And of course correctly predicting the Mutalisks and defending against them. Or maybe I shouldn't say predicting. He did kind of just go in with 1 Corsair and see them coming, and then started defending against them. But still, had everything in time. God, that just makes me very sad. When I see this kind of thing, a long strung out chain of Protoss with the Templars in the back because they walk slower, that just makes me sad because that's just asking for Zerg to run around with like 12 Zerglings and kill all your High Templar for nothing. You really need to keep the High Templar with the group. Cannot just have them trailing behind. That's just so risky. Even if he knew based like the position of the Mutas was ahead of him rather than behind him, he could still lose them to just random small groups of Lings. Anyway, here we go. Are we gonna storm the Mutas? Oh my god, the High Templar are all being sniped down. Oh, but a couple of storms do it the club. I don't know why he's attacking into so many Sunkens though. There's no way he's gonna break this. He just stormed the Sunken Colonies. Are you stupid? Why did you do that? That doesn't do anything. Oh my god, Movie. I don't know why he even thought about it. As soon as he saw all the Sunkens, he should just backed up. Kept the army alive, kept the map control. What was even storming there in the Sunkens? I don't understand. Oh my god, looks like he's even thinking about taking the middle base. Anyway, he's gonna grab a couple of these mutas with the goons. But that was not a good engagement at all. That was he saw the Sunkens. He had plenty of time to be like, okay, this is not a good idea. Let me just chill. Just back up. Back it up. Okay, so we've got a Dark Archon morphing. He's gonna try and Maelstrom the Mutas, but that also seems stupid to me because the Mutas are almost all dead. There's like 4 damaged Mutas left. Do you really need a Dark Archon to deal with that right now? I mean, really? And I mean, if he made that like 5 minutes ago, then sure, I'd be like, oh yeah, fantastic movie, good job, Dark Archon, yummy. But it's just like, you don't need it anymore. The Mutas are all like dead. They're all dead, they're all gone. Anyway, I guess it's cool to see at least. Okay, so looks like the Muta's coming in. Oh, actually, no, looks like Heroes remade some. Okay, so maybe I spoke too soon. No, maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe Heroes actually gonna keep going on the Mutas. He actually did get +2 carapace, and I believe he got a Great Aspire. So maybe this is actually good. Maybe Movie actually realized that Hero was gonna keep going air and got the Maelstrom, you know? So alright, credit to him. That's actually legit. You know what? I just realized another reason why that's good is because he doesn't have basically any anti-air in his army. Like, he lost all his Corsairs. He's only got like a few Dragoons and no Archons. So the only way for him to not lose Templars is, oh, Maelstrom, but there's no storm. Oh, there's the storm! Yes! Yes, that's what we want to see. That is exactly what we want to see. Oh my god. Okay, I take it all back. That Maelstrom was good. That Maelstrom was good. That was fine. Okay, I'm sorry, movie. Okay, I take that one back. I don't take back the Storm on the Sunkens. That was definitely still stupid. But the Maelstrom, that's kind of legit. That was pretty good. Okay, so now we've got a remade army, but this is mostly Zealots. But the awesome thing about this is that because Hero has committed all his gas to making air units, he has no lurkers. So this composition of like only Zealots and a few High Templar is actually completely fine. Where is the Storm at? Are you kidding me? He killed like one Zergling with that Storm. Oh my god, and he just stormed his own probe line. And he's just dropping the Reavers there. Don't do that. Please don't. No, don't do that. Okay, come on, man. Dude, please. Please, movie. Just you're killing me here. I am actually just gonna die. Now, what's really awesome about this mainly Zealot heavy composition with the Reavers is that this is like the perfect Sunken busting composition, because Sunkens actually just do nothing against Zealots. They just, you can see just swarming across here. There are Guardians here, but it doesn't matter. He's gonna kill everything. Kill all the drones, kill all the buildings. Sure, you can have your three Guardians. That's all fine. You can probably just storm those down anywhere. Whee! So, movie breaking the natural with his Reavers. I don't even know when he got Reavers, but he got 2 random Reavers. I guess that is a solution to mass Sunkens as well. Although the Ling's coming in the back, but it's probably not enough. Even if it is enough, he's lost everything of the natural, so movie can just do a follow-up attack here and kill everything. And these High Templars apparently really don't want to be an Archon, even though that would be the most useful thing to be right now. There we go. So, looks like, oh god, they're transferring the drones into the Archons! Don't do that! Kill the drones, man! Splash the drones! Why you no splash drones? He could have 2-shot the entire drone line right there. Also, apparently that Nexus didn't die. I don't know why that didn't die, but apparently it didn't. Anyway, so we've got a million Archons morphing in the natural. We've got a million Overlords spreading out from the Zerg natural. And are we going to move out? Is this the move out time? He's being a little bit careful, doesn't want to lose this Nexus. Because he's mined out his main and presumably quite low on his natural. And here we go. Moving out again. Is he going to take the middle base? I'm actually quite okay with taking the middle base. A lot of, or not a lot, but some Protoss players have actually started doing that on Fighting Spirit as well. So you take your first 3 bases, and then your 4th base actually goes into the middle while you attack, and you take the double gas. It's actually pretty good. And we've got more Guardians on the way, which are actually going to be nice, I guess, in outranging the Archons, but I don't know if their damage output is high enough to actually stop this. Although we do have a... Oh man, look at the minimap. Look at that big swarm of Zerg coming in the back. I really hope movie doesn't waste all his storms just on a couple of Guardians. Alright, here we go. There's a storm. He needs the Archons buffering in the front. The Archon's on the wrong side. He's going to storm down almost all the Zerglings. Wow, those were some really good storms. He actually got basically all the Zerglings. He's going to Maelstrom the Guardians there, but that doesn't really do anything. I don't know if he can actually try and break up here. He's going to get a couple... Wow, he didn't actually even finish off those... Okay, there we go. Finishes off those 2 Guardians, but it's actually too hard to break up this ramp with the Guardians on top. I think he should just go back and maybe... and just like kill the 3 o'clock or something, or take another base. It's actually a little bit tricky to kill this outright. Hero's actually not completely dead yet, even though we had the doom zoom on his face. He's actually not yet lost the game, which is pretty interesting here. It's like an Ultraless Cavern done, but no Ultras to be seen, of course. There's actually no Defiler Mount either, although I guess since he's focused on Guardians, it probably wouldn't do that much. This is actually kind of a weird situation, because Guardians generally aren't really that effective in the as a late game unit against Protoss. Generally, you only see them in really late game situations where you make a few of them to like harass the back of a natural from like an inaccessible place. Like for example, Hero could make 3 Guardians just above Movie's mineral line at the 9 o'clock base and just harass it there where they can't be hit, and then that would be quite effective actually. But making a lot of them to try and engage the Protoss head on generally doesn't work that well. And of course, because he used all his gas on that, he can't really like afford defilers or or ultralisks or things like that, which would generally be more useful, or even just lurkers. I think would generally be more useful considering there's very few Dracoons in the Protoss composition right now. So it looks like some more Zergling's gonna try and snipe down this 9 o'clock base. One good thing for Hero at least is that Movie's still not taking another base. I guess because there's just been too many Zerglings roaming around the map. Movie hasn't really had a good opportunity. And oh my god, gonna lose a random shuttle here. Movie is... I think he should just go home with this army. He's gonna lose this small group of Archons if he just stays in the middle of the map. He actually needs to pull them back and regroup with a bigger number of units. Okay, there we go. The Archons in particular are very precious. You want them always to be nice and buffered by Zealots and that sort of thing. Keep them alive. Of course, since they are all shields, as long as you just keep them alive, they'll basically just regenerate their HP forever and just always go back to full. So that's really awesome. Anyway, finally we have some Ultralisks coming out. As I said, you know, Guardians are nice. They actually helped quite a bit with that defense there. I think if he had actually had Ultralisks at the main instead of Guardians, he might have just died. But because there were so many Guardians spread out at the top of the ramp, it's too difficult for Movie, who had basically no Dragoons, to actually break that. But we are going to have an army coming out here once again. Once again, this is a very small army with basically no Zealots here to buffer against mass Zerglings. I mean, Hero's making a lot of Zerglings in this game. It's just, oh god, the shuttles as well. Please don't throw a game by just doing bad stuff with shuttles and oh god, the army is dead. You see, this is why you shouldn't just stay in the middle of the map. This is why, as a Protoss player, you should never just be walking around in the middle of the map with a small group of units. That will happen to you. Yeah. Interestingly, the upgrades don't seem that great for Hero. He's got 4-1 Ultralisks. Although actually, oh god, yo! Wow, how did he not get that whole clump? Wow, good storm dodging by Hero, and I think Hero just won the game. Wow, Hero, how did you win this? That was amazing! Man, Hero's in so much trouble after losing his natural. GG from Movie, and Hero takes game number 4. Man, we did the Doom Zoom and everything, and he still won? Hero, bro, that's not how it works. When you get Doom Zoomed, you're supposed to lose the game. Oh my god, he trolled the cameraman and everything there. And Hero takes the semifinal 3-1 and will advance to the finals. But that's not all for today, ladies and gentlemen. Because we still have Bisu versus Quanro coming up next. Wow. Movie. He's wondering that game was very much like their round of 16 game where Movie just comes out with a giant army, kills a base, and then ends up losing the game anyway, and you don't really know how. Sick defense there by Hero.
결승 무대에 유일하게 발을 못 디뎌본 선수가 오늘 출전하는 4명 중에서 조일장 선수가 유일했었거든요. 네. 근데 그 한풀이를 지금 했다라는 그런 측면에서 굉장히 표정은 담담하고 지금은 뭔가 자신이 패배한 듯한 이런